Yeah, for those of you who aren't familiar with Yuri, Yuri is a Mises Fellow with the Mises Institute. He's originally from Russia and was an economist under Gorbachev during Perestroika. And Yuri has many nice things to say about Mikhail Gorbachev. And he defected here in the late 80s, right? To the United States. And he's a professor at Carthage University. He's written a couple books, probably more than a couple books. And so we're honored to have him here tonight. And I'll let him take it.
All right. Well, thank you, Ryan. It was for me, it's a great pleasure to be here. It's because I heard about your circle, and it's also on the Facebook. And for me, especially, it's very special. As when I came to the United States, one of the first people I met was Yuri Rothbard. And Yuri was blessed by knowing him, and Yuri was extremely helpful. He called me, I would say, in a strangely loving way, Mises from Moscow. He said this is the second coming of Mises, this time from Moscow. And Yuri, I spent a lot of time with him, with Hans Hoppe in University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I was 3 times invited by him to be a visiting professor at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, 2 weeks each time. So we spent quite a lot of time with Yuri visiting casinos on the Strip. And he was extremely warm and personable. It's amazing. I mean, you cannot probably sense it from his writing. His writing is pretty much kind of a Leninist style. Like he was, I think he would write about how the British economy is like. He has vomit against instead of brains or whatever. So, but in real life, he was a very warm person, extremely nice. And Joey, his wife, and I visited them in New York also 2 times. And he wrote me a wonderful, the first letter of recommendation I got, first reference I got from him. And then on the sad day of 25th of February of 1995, was again in New York, visiting with Joy for a memorial service for Yuri. You know, Yuri died when he went to change his glass prescription, his eyeglasses. And so we had this memorial service in the Presbyterian Church. And I was very surprised by that because Yuri his background was Jewish, and so is Joey. And but the minister said that he is a true libertarian, the minister, a Presbyterian minister was, and so that's why Yuri, even in his testament, mentioned that he would like to do it then. And then we had a nice, and then Joey invited me and Ralph Rico and Ron Hamowy to a nice restaurant, and we were sitting in this restaurant, and I was surprised because everybody was so solemn and so saddened and whatnot by the loss, by the great loss, the cause of liberty, and was inflicted by Yuri. But she was just laughing all the time. This is this wonderful Jewish humor, because she was saying, can you imagine? Yuri went to the ophthalmologist, to this eye doctor, and he was showing him the stables. You know, they show the stables. And Yuri was looking at the stables and had a heart attack. And what the guy was showing him the stables. Maybe we should buy the stables. And she was also saying that, can you imagine how Yuri would be happy to know the way he went? And can you imagine the people, if you are in the waiting room for the eye doctor and the corpses are getting out? And Ralph Rico was saying, no, you should, Joey, you should become serious, else you son of a bitch. And was pretty, yes, and then I think that they were so close together that after he passed away, she lived for maybe another year, and it was already kind of, I think that maybe that was her last great time she had with us at this restaurant, right? And Ron Hamaway, I don't know if you know Ron, he was one of the founders of the libertarian movement in the United States, and both he and Murray, at first they were one of the founders of the Libertarian Party in the United States, which both of them later abandoned. And Murray was very critical of the Libertarian Party. His point was that it is an oxymoron, and he called it the greatest disgrace to the cause of liberty. I don't know whether it's whatever it is, but it is really true that that there can be a great unity on the left, and the whole 20th century especially showed us this unity on the left in the form of communism, socialism in the Soviet Union, Soviet socialism, national socialism in Germany, other types of socialism, which are all at the basis of all this socialist ideology is collectivism. It's collectivism. So because by definition, socialism is a collectivist ideology, while libertarianism, or especially anarcho-capitalism, definitely is not, because all of us are individuals, and that's why I would agree maybe with a very pessimistic view of Joseph Alois Schumpeter, another great Austrian economist who didn't belong actually to Austrian school, but he was quite a fascinating thinker. In 1950, he wrote his Capitalism, Socialism, and Democracy, in which he was saying that capitalism is a wonderful thing. Enjoy it while it's still around. It will not be around for long. And it will not be allowed for long, from his perspective, was because of the same thing. Because there cannot be unity on the right. All of us are individualists. We cannot be united around whomever it is. And you can see what's going on right now in the libertarian movement in the United States, and plus, especially if you will look at the libertarian movement worldwide, it's right now it's completely broken by mostly the Putin's regime in Russia. You know that if you will look at Ron Paul Institute, that Ron Paul and his associates, for some reason, they support Vladimir Putin, definitely most Europeans. And I just returned back from South Africa. I came to Florida straight from South Africa without even going home. So my wife and my kids, they picked me up at Chicago airport, and we just drove to, well, I had a speech on the way at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. That's also kind of a funny experience I have, because as I'm part of the U.S. government seminars. And the funny thing, and I'm doing that since 1990. And in 1990, I had this seminar also for the United States Air Force in Washington, D.C. And they have generals, colonels, usually like the lowest rank, admitted to the seminars. It's called private seminar. And we had a lunch, and I was sitting together with two ladies, both of them generals of the United States Air Force. And I asked them, I said, what brought you to Washington? And they said, come on. I said, what do you mean? Seminars. I said, you flew from Guam to attend this seminar? She said, of course, and she flew from Italy. Can you imagine what kind of government I mean, I know that my seminars definitely worth of flying from the moon, but on the other hand, and that's very interesting seminar program, because that's why they have me, because they have Ralph Nader there, they have Eleanor Clift, they have so many leftists. In 1990, they had Newt Gingrich and many other people like that. Dick Cheney was the star in 1980s, and so that's very, very interesting. And with that, then I would just talk a little bit about kind of life, and then I can take questions on whatever, I mean, what's going on, I mean, and what, I don't know whether we can discuss whatever you like to discuss, but speaking about myself, I was not the economic advisor to Gorbachev. I wouldn't take the blame for if there was something too big to fail in the world. That era was the Soviet Union. And the Soviet Union was 11 time zones. Can you imagine? 11 times. 1/6 of the world's surface. It was twice bigger than US and Canada combined. And it has almost all possible and impossible natural resources. It's the first in gas, second in oil, second in gold, first right now in diamonds, and a lot of other stuff. However, completely ruined by its own government. Completely ruined by its own government. In the process of ruining their country, they also murdered anywhere from 43 to 61 million people. And now they're kind of discussing, some economists, demographers discussing whether it's 43 or 61 million. I don't care to tell the truth because either number is completely outside of, I think, normal person's comprehension of evil. If it's 43 or 61, it's, Stalin used to say himself, he used to say, death of one is a tragedy, death of a million is just statistic. I would say it's a million tragedies, but he had another. I got a